Welcome to Let's Talk Movies Live. This is technically the first live of this one. I was doing movie review live, but while I do a little mini review, I also talk about other movies. So I'm going to be changing it to Let's Talk Movies Live. So with that, I'll be talking about the movie I saw this week. That was Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I started watching Fountain of Youth, but I didn't get through it. So I'll talk about that next week. And there was a couple other movies that I wanted to see this weekend. I just couldn't get around to. I was traveling. So I just wasn't able to get out there. So I'll talk about them next week for sure, next Sunday. And but the movie that I did see this week was Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. This movie is good, but it's long. If you don't like long movies, you're probably not going to like this movie. It is a lot of fun, but it makes you earn that fun. So it starts off, I felt like it started off pretty fast in the first like 30, 45 minutes. And then it gets to where they're making the plan and they kind of just like go over the plan a bunch of different times with a bunch of different people. And they kind of interject like in between days at the same time. So it is kind of hard to follow along because they're basically going over the plan and saying what the plan is as the plan's happening in the next day prior or whatever. So it's real choppy in that sense. And again, like I said, it's long. There's a lot of exposition, a lot of talking. But then that last like 45 minutes to an hour and that plane sequence is a lot of fun. It's my favorite stunt of all the Mission Impossible movies, and it's probably the best stunt that they've done. All the acting was good. I wouldn't say necessarily great, but I mean, they're not, it's not. There's no bad actor in this movie. Everybody does a good job. There's a lot of callbacks throughout the entire series, especially the first movie. So that was really fun to see. I had a little prediction going into it, and it didn't pan out, but what panned out was cool. I still think my idea would have been a little bit better, but you can check that out in my other video, my Mission Impossible Final Reckoning prediction video that I have up. So yeah, it's definitely, even if it's hard to say. It's hard to say this the right way. If you wouldn't be able to know if you don't like this movie without seeing it, but the only way to see it, to see if you wouldn't like it or not, is in the theater. If you watch this at home, especially for the first time, it's just not going to be the same as the theater experience with everything that goes on, from the submarine scene that is about 10, 15 minutes too long, but it's very intense, and it's a big buildup in this movie. You don't know if Ethan's going to die or not. Nobody's really said anything. So I get the long wait to see if he's gonna die or not. And that submarine scene is one of those sequences. Like, you obviously know he's gonna live to like the third act, but it builds on that suspense. So, but with that scene, it's just not the same if you watch it at home. So if you have any interest in seeing it, definitely go see it in the theater. It's worth checking out once. And if you don't like it, hey, you don't like it, and it's. I mean, time is precious, but at the end of the day, it's only 3 hours out of the entire week, however many hours that is. So I'd recommend seeing it. I like every single one of these movies, even the second one. The second one is my least favorite. I feel like it's almost in a way like the Last Jedi of the Mission Impossible movies. It's a Mission Impossible movie that doesn't feel like Mission Impossible, but it still fits in the universe, if that makes sense. So if you like all of them, go see it. It's worth seeing. All movies are worth seeing in theaters at least one time, in my opinion. At least give it a chance. So that is what it is for me there. Very simple, quick review on it. I probably give it an 8 out of 10, maybe go down as low as a 7.8, just because it did feel long. While I was engaged, I can see how many people would be disengaged. So, but I was locked in on this. I was so excited to see it. I was ready, and oh man, it was fun. I hope it's not the last one. I hope he pulls a Sean Connery and comes back in the next like 8 to 10 years for one true last final one, and maybe have Ethan die in that one, or have him pass the torch off to somebody else and then continue the franchise that way. But yeah, so for me, that's pretty much it. I'll have a full review out tomorrow, I hope, maybe Tuesday, and we'll go from there. So what I also like to do is talk about the box office for the weekend, and apparently this has been a pretty good box office weekend. I haven't checked it out yet or anything like that, so I'm going to be doing that now. Let's check it out. So right here we got the domestic weekend box office. So Lilo and Stitch did come out. I did not see it, but hold on, let me shrink this down a little bit. Come on. All right, let me shrink this down so I can move it. There we go. Nah, still not good enough. All right, hold on. Sorry, guys, or whoever's watching. All right. Good enough. I'll just shrink myself down. Okay. So again, I did not see Lilo and Stitch. I will be seeing it next week for sure, and then I'll talk about it next week. So far, I've heard really good things, but let's check it out. Okay. So Lilo and Stitch made $183 million this weekend. This is domestic, so that is an insane opening weekend. Holy shit, that's crazy. Um, so that was number one at the box office. It did double than Mission Impossible, but Mission Impossible opening to 77 million. That was within the projections, and that's pretty good. I don't think the last one opened up to nearly as big in numbers. So that's really good for a Mission Impossible movie. Will it make its money back after its theatrical run? I don't think so. This movie costs like $400 million to make, which means it's gonna have to make close to $1 billion to be profitable, and or over $1 billion, and that's just not gonna happen. No Mission Impossible movie has. If any of them would, it would be this one because it's the final one, but I don't see it happening. I don't see this movie making past 500 million, to be honest. Third place, you had Final Destination Bloodlines with another 24.5 million. This movie has made so much money for Warner Brothers in the Mission or in the Final Destination franchise. That's a significant amount of money. Thunderbolts in fourth place with 11.6 million. It's not gonna do that well at the end of its theatrical run. It's in its fourth weekend now. It's not gonna go back up. Sinners with 11.2 million. This is in like its sixth or seventh weekend, I think. So considering that, that's pretty good for being in the top five still. And look at that, we still got one. Oh, okay, so two out of the top five are Warner Brothers titles. So like Warner Brothers been doing good. Minecraft finally dropped out of the top five. Minecraft made an extra 2 million. I'm going to jump down to that real quick. It came in eighth place. Not going to hit that billion. I think their biggest mistake was putting it on streaming last week. I think if they didn't, this would have been easily doubled because it's another family friendly movie. Lilo and Stitch, they got sold out showings. Hey, the next family friendly movie is going to be Minecraft. So they really messed up putting that on streaming. I don't know why they do this. These need to be in the theaters for at least 90 days, maybe 75 if you want to cut it short. And before it goes to any type of streaming or anything like that. But they really messed that up. Accountant, let me go back up here. Last Rodeo, that came out this past weekend as well. I didn't see it. I don't really plan on seeing it. But it came in sixth place with 6 million. The movie Friendship, another one that came out last weekend, very overshadowed by these two at the top. That was 5.7 million. So pretty decent for a really like not well marketed movie. I think I've only seen one trailer for this movie. So I mean, considering that, that's pretty good. And I will be seeing this. I might see it tomorrow actually. It's a holiday weekend still, so I might have some time to go see it tomorrow. If not, I'll definitely see it throughout the week. And then Accountant 2, 2.5 million. Again, good for the movie, I guess. It's still in the top 10, but it's not going to make its money back. It cost 80 million to make. It's only made 63 million worldwide, I think. Or maybe that's domestic. It's made 63, so it has to make well over $100 more million than that to break even. So it's just not happening. But it's a good movie. It's a fun movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And then capping off the top 10, Hurry Up Tomorrow with $931,000. This movie is doing terribly at the box office, but not as bad as Snow White. So good for them in that sense. So let's go up to now the worldwide numbers and check this out. Okay, fuck Nisa too. The movie doesn't count. So at the worldwide box office, Minecraft is at 940 million. It only made 2 million this weekend, and last weekend it was at, or let's see, what did it make internationally? Let me move this over just a little bit more. Okay. So where am I at? Minecraft. So internationally, it's made more money. Domestically, like I don't know, they really messed up putting this on streaming because last weekend I think it was at 920 million, something like that. And so like to get the billion, it needed 8 more weeks of $20 million. So and it only made 2 million in domestic this past weekend, so it's not gonna make it, but it's gonna get damn close. Captain America is still number 3. That'll get passed probably this next weekend by Lilo and Stitch. Thunderbolts with 355 million. That's pretty sad to see. The numbers between domestic and foreign are pretty close, but it's sad to see this movie be making significantly less than Captain America because Thunderbolts is so much better. If you haven't seen Thunderbolts, please go see it. It's not just a good Marvel movie, it's a good movie. Go watch it. Fifth is Lilo and Stitch, so will absolutely jump up to probably number 3 by the end of next weekend. Lilo and Stitch made $341 million. Wow. So 183 domestic and then 158, basically 159 million foreign. And that's crazy. In one weekend, Lilo and Stitch has made more than Sinners in its entire theatrical run. Now, Lilo and Stitch again, Disney. It's had the cartoon that came out in the early 2000s, so it makes sense. But that's insane. One weekend over after out of six, that's wild. But it's made $80 million foreign and $259 million domestic, which shocks me. I thought for sure the foreign numbers on Sinners would be much, much, much higher. I believe it's now making money. I'm pretty sure it is. So good for Sinners. It'll still be out for I think this week it comes out on streaming. So I'll give it another 3 or 4 weeks in the actual theaters. But its numbers will start going down. It'll probably stay at this number 6 spot, maybe go up to number 5 when Lilo and Stitch moves up. Snow White is at a total of 205 million. Mission Impossible in its opening weekend. Wow, look at that. Okay, so it made 77 million domestic and then 127 million foreign. That's crazy. It almost doubled the amount in foreign audiences. These Mission Impossible movies are like the Fast and Furious movies. They don't do too well domestically, but the foreign fans, oh man, they love these movies. But look at that. It's made almost as much as Snow White's entire theatrical run in one weekend. That's crazy. A Mission Impossible movie versus a classic Snow White story. That just tells you how bad that movie is. So this will definitely pass Snow White this upcoming weekend. It'll pass it. It might even pass it on Monday, if I'm being honest with you, or Monday or Tuesday. But that'll go up. Final Destination. It's made 94 million domestic, 92.5 million foreign. So it's almost at that 50-50 split like it was last week on its opening weekend. So good for this one. I think this has made the most money out of any Final Destination movie, and it's very profitable. So good for that. And then number 10 is Dogman, 144 million. So a lot of these will get passed. I think this next weekend, a lot of these are going to get passed up. So all these other ones are going to move up higher. Lilo and Stitch will move to probably number 2 next weekend. Captain America will then get dropped to number 3. Thunderbolts will stay at 4. Oh, I don't really count this Niza, so I'm going to say Minecraft is 1, Captain America is 2, Thunderbolts is 3, Lilo and Stitch is 4. So either way, Lilo and Stitch will become 2nd. Thunderbolts will probably stay in 4th, or at 4. It'll go down to 4. But yeah, so that's the domestic and foreign numbers. Pretty good summer start ever since the beginning of May. Good summer start to the box office. If I'm being real, much better than 2023. Man, there's some good movies in 2023, and that summer just went down the drain, man. But all right, let's check out what's upcoming this weekend. So this upcoming weekend on May 30th, we have Karate Kid Legends. This takes place after Cobra Kai, so I'm going to be finishing Cobra Kai this week. I've been waiting on purpose. I don't think Johnny's going to be in the movie. I think it's just a Daniel story with Jackie Chan's character. Never saw the Jackie Chan movie, so I'll probably have to watch that at some point this week. But it looks good. I'm excited for it. And then also is Bring Her Back. I believe these are the same brothers that directed Talk to Me. I think this is their next film, and man, it looks creepy. I don't know if I'm going to see it, but I mean, I'm not against seeing it, but it's just not on my radar. But those are the 2 big movies that come out this week. And then, the Phoenician Scheme is a Paul Wes Anderson movie. His movies are, I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily like his style too much, but maybe I'll see it. I'm not going to go out of my way to see it, though, for sure. But it does look interesting. I'll give it that stat cast. But definitely one that I want to see the most is going to be Karate Kid. I want to see Friendship next week. I want to see Lilo and Stitch next week. I'm going to finish Fountain of Youth. I might even do that right now. And then I think there's a couple other ones. But yeah, definitely check out Karate Kid, Lilo and Stitch, Mission Impossible, Minecraft. If you want to have like a date night without any kids, go see Sinners or Thunderbolts. Go check these movies out. A lot of really good movies coming out. Come on now. All right, so that'll do it for me for today for Let's Talk Movies Live. I'll be back next Sunday. Also, real quick, the finale of The Last of Us came out today. Not gonna lie, there's kind of a snooze fest this season. Not the best. Season 1 was much better. This season 2 had very up and down episodes. I just wasn't too much of a fan. The way this season ended, of course, I'll tune in for season 3. But who knows? That might be in another 2 or 3 years. These shows take so long to make. It's so annoying. That's why you should go watch movies, because there's a new movie every single week. So with that, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.